to a very familiar chant in these parts. War Eagle 7 soars around Jordan-Hare Stadium. On this hot September night, there's another brand of bird hoping to take flight here at Auburn. Steve Spurrier brings his Gamecocks in against Gene Chizik and the undefeated Tigers. And the latest hero of the Plains, Cameron Newton, getting the crowd fired up at Jordan-Hare. It's the SEC on ESPN. Welcome to College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton Hotels. For the second Saturday night in a row, a very excited Auburn crowd is ready for a big football game. And why not? They're undefeated. They're ranked 17th in the country. And now they host the number 12 Gamecocks of South Carolina in another very, very important conference game. Welcome to Auburn, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. Todd Blackledge joins me as always. You think about what they were just talking about, Reese and the guys, Alabama coming from behind, so they hold their #1 ranking. But right now, Todd, everybody wants to stay in line, and that's what's important about this game.
It's a huge game because both of these teams need to keep pace in September and early October to make a run down the stretch. Alabama and Florida are still the teams to beat in the league, but they don't look as invincible as they did last year. For Auburn on the west side, they've got to hold court at home. 8 of their 12 games are here at Jordan-Hare. They've got to defend their home turf. South Carolina, this is the best team Steve Spurrier has had since he's been there. The best chance to get to Atlanta, but they have to know how to win on the road to be a championship team. They've lost 5 straight road games in conference.
Yeah, it goes back a couple of years. And ironically enough, a Steve Spurrier team that's doing it on the ground. We see 2 freshman tailbacks that are the talk of the whole country right now.
Yeah, they're going to be fun to watch. The top 2 recruited guys, Marcus Lattimore out of South Carolina, almost came to Auburn, stayed at home. Michael Dyer, he's carried the ball 16 times last week against Clemson. I think his workload is going to pick up tonight. I would be surprised to see him carry it more than 20. Marcus Lattimore is a little bigger physically, has had a huge impact on the Gamecock offense. 333 yards in 3 games. It took a running back for South Carolina 8 games to gain that many yards last year.
Well, these 2 guys almost were teammates because in November, Dyer committed and then pressed very hard to get this guy to join him. As you see the Auburn cap, but then underneath is the South Carolina cap. And in February, Marcus Lattimore decided he was going to stay in his home state and play for the Gamecocks. He'll be ready to bring out the number 12 team in the country. As Todd said, though, they have a tough time on the road, and this is a tough place to play at night. Both teams 1-0 in conference play so far. And here come the Auburn Tigers. In the last decade, they are 21-4 on their home field at night. Here comes South Carolina. Atmosphere as we get set for 2 undefeated teams led by their freshman tailbacks. And it's been a tough week and a half for South Carolina. There's going to be some things they're going to have to overcome. Holly Rowe will talk more about that, and then we'll kick it off at Auburn when we come back. Tiger walk prior to the Tigers heading to their locker room. And now Steve Spurrier, a win today would put him number 2 by himself all-time in SEC wins. Johnny Bott and, of course, Bear Bryant, the all-time leader with 159. Well, the loss of Kenny McKinley really shook up the Gamecocks fans this week. There were some other problems with players, either brothers or fathers, passing away. With more on that and the tough stretch that South Carolina's had, here's Holly.
Well, Brad, it was a very difficult week emotionally for this team, in large part because Kenny McKinley was a very popular and beloved player. He'd had a great work ethic. Before he got to South Carolina, he'd never caught a pass or run a route. At the time he left, he was their career leader in receptions and pass yardage. He just came back to campus 2 weeks ago, spent time with his former teammates, so it hit them hard when they heard of his death. Guys, they did have their team psychiatrist, Dr. Timothy Malone, address the team on Tuesday, give them some clues to how to avoid depression over this incident, to talk to each other and get through it as a family. And their team captain tonight, Patrick DeMarco, said to wear those stickers, number 11, on their helmets, because tonight they're playing this game for Kenny McKinley. He said, we'll do tonight what he always did. We'll work hard to get a win.
And they hope if they can get a win, they'll have the smile that used to light up a room like Kenny's did. Auburn won the toss and deferred, so they'll kick off, and South Carolina will have it offensively tonight to start things off. Wes Byram has got it teed up. Both teams 3-0. Both teams 1-0 in conference play. And on a sweltering late September night on the Plains, we're set for a big football game. The kick will go to Bryce Sherman. Sherman to the 20, leveled there. Demetrius McNeil made the stop on the special teams. So out comes Stephen Garcia. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions so far in the season.
I think that number that's highlighted is huge for him. He only completed 55% of his passes last year, and I think the addition of Lattimore and the strength of their running game has made it easier for Stephen Garcia to complete passes.
He'll start in the shotgun with Lattimore to his left. DeMarco, the motion man. Here is Lattimore, hit immediately. Bynes and Fairley, the 2 leaders of the defense, combine on the stop as we take a look at the starting lineups. For the big fellas up front for Steve Spurrier. King and Chisholm, Johnson, Watkins, and Nunn across the front wall. The backs and receivers, we talked about Lattimore. Alshon Jeffrey, 19 catches coming in. Hurley and Moore join him, and DeMarco is the tight end H-back. A loss on the play on Lattimore's first carry. 2nd down and 11. This time he rides at the Lattimore, and he lost yardage again, and Fairley again.
2 plays, 2 quick penetrations by Fairley, and that's the way to stop a great back in the backfield before he gets his momentum going, before he gets into the hole. Get penetration into the backfield and wrap him up.
Fairley had 3 tackles for loss in the overtime win over Clemson's. He's got 2 in the opening drive so far. 3rd down at 13. Garcia, Auburn jumps. Might be a free play, but the ball is out, and Fairley's got it.
They blew the play dead.
Fairley goes to the end zone, but the whistle's blew, the flag's down. As Antoine Carter, it appeared, came flying into the backfield. A count too early.
Dead ball foul. Offside. Defense. Automated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
See, that's the reason that they blew the play dead. Normally on offsides, you don't blow it dead, but he had an unrestricted path to the quarterback, and they didn't want Garcia to take a hit in the back unnecessarily. So they blew the play dead, the right call, and it's still 3rd down for South Carolina.
And another chance for South Carolina, and a lucky break because it would have been 6-0 Auburn on the 1-hopper by Fairley. A 3rd down and 8. Garcia trying to scream over this crowd. So hard to call an audible in this kind of situation. Draw play, Lattimore. And Lattimore with some blockers. He's got a 1st down, and he's still spinning out, breaking tackles out to the 36-yard line. He picked up 11.
Nice job by Stephen Garcia managing the offense. 3rd down, he checks to the draw. He audibles calmly to the whole offensive line, and then good patience by Lattimore to set it up. He follows the block of his center, T.J. Johnson, and they get the 1st down.
Out to the 35. Garcia looks to the sideline again in the shotgun. Comes up. Talks to his offensive line. DeMarco, I think, is a little bit confused on which side he's supposed to be on. High snap. Lattimore slips and falls. But it's going to be Fairley that's making sure that he's there. Talk about the Auburn defense It's a lot more than fair the way Fairley's playing so far on the front wall, huh? Clayton, Carter, and Egway join it. Linebackers, the guy that calls all the signals is Josh Bynes with Bates and Stevens. Stevens back in there after missing the first couple of games of the year. Washington, Etheridge, Savage, and Nico Thorpe are in the back end of the secondary for the Tigers.
Better energy from this Auburn defense to start the game than they had last week against Clemson.
Garcia straight down the middle, overshot, and is it intercepted? Etheridge, and they're going to say no. Etheridge says yes, and he wants a challenge flag from his coach.
Well, Garcia had his receiver. D.L. Moore was open in the middle of the defense. He just overshot him, and Etheridge was playing the deep safety, and the ball came to him rather than Moore.
Those are the kind that drive Steve Spurrier crazy. Brian Maddox in the backfield now with Garcia on a 3rd down and 12. South Carolina #1 in the SEC in 3rd down conversions. 56%. They picked up their last one on the ground. This time they'll swing it out. Maddox is hit immediately. Nice open field tackle by Nico Thorpe. And the Gamecocks will have to give it up.
Nico Thorpe is the best cornerback on this Auburn football team, and he's a pretty physical kid. He's 6'2", 185 pounds. And if he doesn't make that tackle, it's another first down for South Carolina, but a nice open field tackle to force the punt.
Lanning, one of the top punters and kickers in the SEC. Quindarius Carr is back deep inside his own 20 on the other end for Auburn. And this one's going to head to the sideline. Carr will watch it bounce out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. That's where the Auburn offense will take over under their big 6'6" quarterback Cameron Newton when we come back. The wind gusting a little bit here at Jordan-Hare Stadium. We've got some rain south of us, we understand, and it may move in before the night's over. Warm day and night. Cameron Newton, the latest hero here at Auburn, who splashed down the scene after starting his college career at Florida, went on to Blinn Junior College, and now he splashed on the scene here at Auburn in his first year as a starter. Gives it off to Dyer. And the freshman that we talked about in the open, Michael Dyer, gets a couple. And Auburn going with their hurry-up offense. 2nd down and 7, and Newton alone in the backfield until Fannin crosses his path. And he's going to swing it out to Fannin. Fannin with a decent gain. He'll bring up 3rd down as we take a look at the Auburn offense. Zemba making his 42nd start at left tackle with Barry Pugh, Isom, and Mosley. Mosley the question mark with A.J. Green out to an injury. Dyer the tailback with Smith the lead man. Zachary Adams and Cody Burns with 3 wideouts. 3rd down for the Tigers. Lutzenkirchen now in there as well. He'll be in motion and now sets up on the left side. 3rd down for Newton. Here he goes on the run. That's what he does so well. That big body, great feet. And he picks up a 1st down with a scramble of 5. And Todd, the coaches would tell you, when he scrambles, that's when he's most dangerous, not when it's a scheduled run.
Yep. I mean, because you've got guys covered, that means people are running with receivers and backs, and nobody accounts for the quarterback. And he does just what he did there, gets the 1st down.
Newton again sets Lutzenkirchen on the right and rolls that way to throw. Now back across his body and complete. Darvin Adams has got a 1st down. He's across the 45 and a pickup of 15.
Well, you know Darvin Adams is the go-to guy, but because the quarterback rolled right and Darvin Adams was coming from the backside of the play, he kind of got lost behind the South Carolina linebackers and was able to come up with the catch.
Came in as a leading receiver. That's his 11th catch of the year. Caleb now in the backfield for Auburn. First down at the 46-yard line. Newton rides it to him and then takes it himself. Broke a tackle, puts his hand on the grass and down the sideline. Newton got there. Touchdown. It doesn't seem like a guy that's 6'6", 244 pounds should be able to run that fast. 54 yards for the touchdown. Wes Byram in for the point after. Just like that, Auburn 7-0. Wow, he's got some serious wheels for a big guy, doesn't he?
Well, they went 3 and out the first 3 possessions last week in the first quarter. I'd say they're off to a little better start in the first quarter tonight.
Talk about a way to light up your home crowd. Go 80 yards in 5 plays and take just a little over 2 minutes. And Cam Newton 54 yards down the sideline.
Well, Gene Chizik said we've got to have our offense make some first downs. We didn't make first downs in the first half last week. I think he'll take touchdowns too.
Well, they've had a lot of short scoring drives this year, and they'd like to put some of those 8, 9, 10 scoring plays and drives together just to give their defense a little bit of a breather. Well, the defense is going to be back out there after about a 5-minute rest. Byram to kick. 7-0 Tigers. Bryce Sherman will run up on this one at the 6. Oh, man, did he take a shot at the 20 from Demetrius McNeil for the 2nd time on kick coverage tonight. Let's go back to the touchdown, Ledge.
Well, what I want you to watch is watch the patience of Newton riding the fake and watch how it impacts all 3 of these defenders. If he's not patient with the fake, somebody is in there, but he rides the fake. It puts guys out of position, and then his speed and athleticism takes over after that. But the patience to ride the fake really sold the play and created the opportunity for Cam Newton.
He can really run for a guy that's that big. So now let's see if Garcia and the South Carolina offense has got an answer. Garcia, a screen pass in the middle to Lattimore, and he got about 4 as we head into the studio. Reese Davis. Reese.
Hello, Brad. Time for a Taco Bell studio update. Turner Gill in Kansas taking on New Mexico State, tied at 7. DJ Brashears will log on, 96 out. He'll house it. The Jayhawks up on top of the Aggies, courtesy of that kickoff return. It's now 21-7 in the 2nd quarter.
Here's 7-0 on Jordan Hare. Lattimore. Another tough run and a first down. Picked up 11 more.
You know, when we talked to the Auburn coaches, obviously they loved Lattimore. They tried to get him here. They thought they had a great shot at it. They think he's a great kid. And all the defensive players and coaches said he runs so well behind his pads. For a young guy, for a guy right out of high school, he doesn't run like a freshman. I guess that's the biggest compliment you could pay to a kid. He breaks so many tackles as a young back.
He carried it 37 times in the win over Georgia. And broke 42 tackles, according to the South Carolina coaches, over those 37 carries. Garcia, plenty of time and running out of it. Got it to Lattimore out of the backfield. Marcus doing his thing into the secondary and all the way to the 46-yard line. 18 yards on the pass play. He can catch it too.
Yep. And again, just his presence and what he has brought to this offense through the first 3 games has really taken pressure off of Stephen Garcia. We mentioned his completion percentage up around 68%. He can dump it off to Lattimore as an outlet receiver, and the running game naturally takes pressure off the quarterback. Now, pretty soon they've got to find a way to get Alshon Jeffries involved in the offense. He's their go-to receiver. Hasn't seen the ball yet tonight.
Alshon's up at the top of your screen. The 3 wideouts to the right. Garcia in the pocket. Well, he got what he could. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, it did come down to Marcus Lattimore coming to Auburn, but he went to South Carolina. And the Auburn defenders, although they said the right things all week, guys, at the bottom of the piles, I'm noticing a few extracurriculars. Either you're with us, tonight you're against us. So here's a little welcome to the SEC here in Auburn.
Oh, I'm sure anybody'd get that, but maybe even more so for number 21. I said to Ted Root, the defensive coordinator for Auburn, when's the last time you saw a guy like this, a freshman? He said when he came for his official visit. Garcia swings it out. Gurley, and Torrey Gurley's got a first down. South Carolina's got something working, 13 more yards.
A lot of quick throws. This wide receiver unit of South Carolina, they are pretty. I mean, they are big, physical, they look good in the uniform, and they can catch and run after the catch. And they all are big enough to break arm tackles and turn short catches into big gains, just like that play.
There's Alshon, who came in as the #1 receiver in the SEC with 19 catches. So far, nothing, but he trots all the way over to the near side here on first down for South Carolina. Play action. Garcia going deep. Jeffrey. Oh, what a catch. Touchdown. There he is. 30 yards strike. And we're a point away from a tie game.
Well, they shifted him to the other side of the field to get a one-on-one matchup against Nico Thorpe, who's a good cover guy, but that was a beautifully thrown ball by Stephen Garcia. Over the outside shoulder, impossible to defend from that position.
Garcia 5 of 6 for 70 yards and a beautiful strike for the touchdown. That's calmed the crowd here at Auburn. And the extra point is good. So big plays from both quarterbacks and an all-SEC receiver has evened things at 7 apiece. Watch this throw. Garcia to Alshon Jeffrey right on the money. 7 apiece at Auburn. Just 2 days away, ESPN's Monday Night Football Classic NFC North rivalry. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers heading to Chicago against Jay Cutler and the Bears. Coverage starts 7 o'clock Eastern with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. Should be a good one. We got a good one going here, and I don't know if Rodgers or Cutler can throw it any better than that guy just did on a 30-yard strike to Alshon Jeffrey in the corner of the end zone to even the game at 7-7. Steve Spurrier told us this week, man, Alshon's doing good, but we got to get him in the end zone. Well, we just got him in the end zone. 80-yard drive in 6 plays. Jay Wooten to kick off. Devon Washington back deep for Auburn. It'll be Washington at the 1. Took a hit at the 20. Broke that tackle. And a nice return out to about the 30-yard line. We'll give him 29 yards on the kick return. Cam Newton, big touchdown run on the last series, 54 yards. And he came in as the leading rusher for this team with over 300, and he added a big one already here in the first quarter. They prefer that their quarterback didn't end up being the #1 rusher when the season's all said and done, but when you can do things like that, that's pretty special.
Well, and he's not afraid to run it. I mean, he told us, you know, yeah, I'd rather stand back there and throw it, but he doesn't slide very much either.
No. He's going to throw it here. Out to Zachary. Zachary, he was one guy away from taking that one a long ways. Akeem Augusta might have saved a touchdown.
Well, Gus Malzahn said, we need to get this guy involved a little more. I said, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, Cam Newton now is 7 for 7 throwing to the guy for over 130 yards. So I'd say, yeah, dial up 81's number. Good things happen.
Here they fake the handoff. Newton turns his back, and now scrambling in the pocket, and down he goes. And Devin Taylor is there. Those 2 defensive ends, Devin Taylor and Cliff Matthews, pretty strong, and I think the tackles tonight for Auburn are going to have their hands full.
Yeah, they're outstanding pass rushers. Really, the front 4 for South Carolina has played very well the last couple of weeks. That one's a case where Cam Newton just held on to the ball a little bit too long. He's got to have that timer go off and say either run it or throw it.
Lost 4 on the play. 2nd down at 14. Here's the end around. Fannin takes it from McCaleb, cuts it up, trying to get a block from his quarterback, and he swarmed under. The ball is out. South Carolina's got it at the 44-yard line.
This is a tremendous tackle by Chris Culliver, the cornerback, and he just stood him up, and then they ripped the ball out. I mean, Culliver just stood him up. Fannin has been out with a shoulder injury, and he gets hit right in the mouth, and the ball pops out.
And Shaq Wilson is there to scoop it up. You are right. That was a collision, face mask to face mask. And Shaq Wilson, who hadn't played at all this year, back in the starting lineup's got a fumble recovery, and South Carolina has got a nice opportunity here at the 44-yard line of the Tigers. High backfield this time. And straight ahead with Lattimore. Yard or two, that's about it.
We go back to that play, the fumble by Fannin, just to make the point. He had his shoulder dislocated twice in the Mississippi State game. He didn't play last week, so you know he didn't get hit very much in practice this week either. They want to get him back in to have versatility in their backfield, but the first time he touches it and gets stood up, the ball pops out.
South Carolina bunched all their receivers as they had a little chat. Now they spread them out. 2 to one side, 3 to the other for Garcia on 2nd down and 9. Garcia trying to slip screen it, and does to Gurley. Gurley broke a tackle. He's going to have a first down. And again, the toughness and the size. Gurley at 6'5", 230. Todd mentioned it earlier. It's hard to bring some of those dudes down out there.
Well, first of all, it's a great target for the quarterback. You know, big body there to throw to. And then once he catches it, I mean, he's just a guy that you're not going to bring down if you don't wrap up. And they've got a couple of them like that. Gurley's that big. Jeffrey's that big. D.L. Moore's a big receiver. They've got a whole stable of them.
T.J. Johnson, their center, got another great block on that screen. That's the 2nd or 3rd time tonight he sprung either a back or a wide receiver for extra yardage. Garcia, that ball, as he just has to eat it. It was a bad snap, and instead of trying to pitch it out or get rid of it, he decided to stay with it. And he's knocked down for a loss. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is at Dover this weekend. It's on ESPN tomorrow. 9 races left in the chase. Denny Hamlin, your current points leader. Coverage starts 1 o'clock Eastern time. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Road, our ESPN primetime crew at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Packed house, 7-7. South Carolina trying to take advantage of a fumble recovery. Garcia, play action. Flush from the pocket, throws on the run, and got it to Jeffrey. And it's a first down, South Carolina.
Well, this is a nice play by both quarterback and receiver. First, Garcia keeping the play alive, buying some extra time, extending the play, and then it looked like Jeffrey, as he was coming back to the ball, was going to fall down. But he kept his balance and was able to make the catch on the sideline. He slips, he gathers himself, and still has the presence to make the catch.
So the Gamecocks threatening here. At the 12, it's Lattimore bulldozing his way down near the 6-yard line. You talk about South Carolina when they're in the red zone. They're special both defensively and offensively. Our Verizon in the red zone, they're perfect, 12 for 12 with 10 touchdowns. And they're the only team that hasn't allowed defensively a red zone touchdown.
Well, that's vintage Steve Spurrier. He doesn't like to kick field goals unless he has to. He loves to go for touchdowns.
They can get a first down inside the 3. Garcia will keep this one. Puts his head down, and he's got a first down inside the 3. It'll be 1st and goal. South Carolina about a yard and a half away from the goal line.
Yeah, that's just a designed quarterback sweep. I mean, they pulled the guard and the tackle out and just told the quarterback, run behind those guys, and let's get the first down. I'm impressed with how Stephen Garcia is playing. He's playing with poise. He's checking plays at the line of scrimmage. He's taking care of the football.
1st and goal with Lattimore, the freshman, flanking him. And he gets it, and he gets the score. Touchdown, South Carolina. Just like that, they take advantage of the turnover by Auburn. Thalen's the guy that gave it up. Lattimore at the end with a touchdown from a yard away. Spencer Lanning point after away from South Carolina having the touchdown lead. 44 yards in 7 plays after that fumble recovery. Extra point is good. With just over a minute remaining in the first quarter, the Gamecocks playing well on the road. And for Lattimore, that is his 6th rushing touchdown so far in this young season. Steve Spurrier, as Todd said earlier, he thinks this might be his best team. Of course, he's had some great teams, played on one at Florida and won a Heisman Trophy back in '66. And then on to Duke, where he's very successful. They've had a hard time being successful since, quite frankly. On to Florida, where he won 7 SEC crowns and a national championship. Not so good when he went to the pros. Wasn't so good with the Washington Redskins. And now back in Columbia with South Carolina. There have been some high spots, some low moments. Last year they went 7-6. Right now they're trying to go to 4-0 for the first time in quite a while. And they're off to a great start on the road tonight.
You know, and it should be mentioned, even though they kind of slopped around at times last week in their game against Furman, they won. And that was physically not as demanding of a game as the game that Auburn had here last Saturday night against Clemson that went to overtime. I think that plays a part in this because South Carolina looks very fresh and on top of their game right now.
Jay Wooten to kick again. Caleb and Washington back deep. Washington about the 5. Washington with a crease, and he got out across the 30. Speaking of the good times at Florida, let's see how the times are going right now. Reese has got an update for us.
Well, Brad, Kentucky didn't have a turnover this season until they had one earlier against the Gators, down 14-0. Now they've got another one. Jeremy Brown, pick 6. Florida leads the world in interceptions, now with a dozen on the season already. They're up 21-0 on ESPNU.
And so Florida right now looks like they're going to go to 4-0 and 2-0. South Carolina trying to keep pace in the SEC East. Alabama won if you missed it, but they got a scare in Fayetteville, that's for sure, from Arkansas. And Auburn trying to stay undefeated with LSU and Alabama in the West. Player down is Devon Washington on the kick return. They got him up, and I think he's all right.
And just what that highlight pointed out with Kentucky. Kentucky's off to a great start, but when you go on the road in a league like this against high-quality opponents, you have to take care of the football. You can't go in there and lose the turnover battle on the road in this league and hope to win very often. And, same thing true tonight for South Carolina. They've done it so far. They've got to take care of the football.
Auburn is -4, now -5 on the season in the turnover category, and they just saw the last turnover turn into a South Carolina touchdown. Let's see if they've got an answer. First down at the 33. And Dyer is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Travian Robertson, the first guy there. So Dyer has had a hard time getting out of the blocks tonight. He'll go out, and McCaleb will go back in there. Very different kinds of runners. McCaleb, if he's lucky, is 175 pounds, and Dyer is packed into that 5'9" frame. So they're much different types of players.
You're not going to see McCaleb running between the tackles very often.
Nope. They fake it to him. Newton fires, strikes, down, complete to Zachary. And it's a first down Auburn.
I think we're going to have to see a lot of this tonight for Auburn. This South Carolina defense is solid. They are probably a better overall defense than what they saw last week with South Carolina, and I think they're going to have to throw the ball more tonight to have a chance to win.
They go hurry up, and here's McCaleb, not running inside the tackles, but outside. He doesn't get much of that either. DeMario Jeffrey stretched it out, made the stop as the first quarter comes to a close. And it was an exciting one, especially if you're a South Carolina fan. It was Newton for a touchdown, but back-to-back scores, 14 unanswered, has put South Carolina in front. It's the SEC on ESPN. SEC action on ESPN from Auburn, Alabama, where the Tigers trail as we start the second quarter. With Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe, I'm Brad Nessler. Our college football primetime presented by Hampton Hotels. And Auburn trying to get back after giving up a touchdown following a fumble on their last drive. Newton, play action, firing in and out of the hands of Zachary, I beg your pardon. Chris Culliver was covering. That one might have had a little too much smoke on it.
Well, it was a good thing, actually, it had too much smoke because he was well covered. There were two defenders there. You take a look at Gus Malzahn on the right, the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. They get these plays in very quickly. He's got a very intricate system of signaling plays. They've got a board on the sidelines that they show to the team, and they try to play at a very fast pace much of the game.
Trying to pick up a 3rd and 9 in Gamecock territory here. Newton shuffles to his left, fires in the middle, and in and out of the hands of Cody Burns. He would have had a first down had he held on.
That was really a nice job by Cam Newton because there was pressure coming to his left. And he did a nice job of not panicking, but just sidestepping the pressure. Watch him sidestep to his left as that pressure came in on Zimba. And he's able to make the throw. And that's a good throw, and it would have been a first down, but Burns unable to come up with the catch.
Ryan Shoemaker to punt. Stephon Gilmore is a dangerous man back on the other end. Ooh, they got close to that punt. Gilmore's got a call for a fair catch. One of his own guys is in the way, but he does make it at about the 15-yard line. 14:40 till halftime. South Carolina with the lead and the ball when we return. They do that as well as any team's ever done it. Let's Reese call that trickeration, right? First down, South Carolina from the 15. Lattimore slips, went down on his own, and I think they're going to spot him with about a half-yard loss. You mentioned the big game that he had against Georgia, 182 yards and 2 touchdowns on 37 carries. And you don't see many guys at any level carrying the ball 37 times anymore in a single game.
Especially not in this league.
Right. Second down at 11. Garcia, draw play. Well, he gets another carry and he gets another loss. Zach Clayton staying home and making a nice play. Clayton, a local product, grad student out of right here in Opelika.
Kind of Ted Root describes as a real blue-collar guy, kind of an anchor player in there, and did a great job of staying there and with his eyes in the backfield, read that draw, and was there for the tackle.
If there's a big early play for the Tiger defense, it's right here. They're trailing a touchdown in the second quarter, and they've got South Carolina in a 3rd and long. Garcia, quick throw to Sanders in the open field. Oh, what a move he put on, and now heading to the sideline, and he might have the first down. Ace Sanders, the freshman, and I think he's got it.
Now, the reason why these plays are so good in college football and you don't see them in the NFL is because in college, linemen can go downfield before the ball is thrown. So they can get down there and get on blocks. And Ace Sanders does a nice job of just letting guys get onto blocks and then making a couple guys miss with his quickness and getting a much-needed first down.
Freshman, son of former Florida State and NFL player Tracy Sanders. He's also Tracy, but they just call him Ace. And that was an ace move in the open field to pick up the first down. Garcia really had to get rid of that one quicker than he wanted to. There was great pressure right in his face from Zach Clayton. That'll bring up second down and 10. It also has time for us to bring up our trivia question. What was Superman's dad's name? Now you go, what the heck does that have to do with the SEC on ESPN? You'll find out later. You come up with the answer, some of you might know why it pertains to this football game.
I doubt it.
Probably not. I knew it when it was brought up in a meeting earlier this week. That's how it all came to be. Bad snap from center, but they got the handoff to Maddox, and Brian Maddox has a first down for South Carolina. He's still going. Took a big shot at the end, but what a run. The senior out of Anderson, South Carolina, he says, give me a little of that love that Lattimore's getting. I've been around longer than he has.
Well, you mentioned the bad snap. This is 2 plays in a row. It's a low left snap, and Garcia fields it in time to make the handoff. The last play, he had to throw the ball away because of the bad snap. This time, he's still able to make the handoff, and you see the tough running of Maddox.
Better low and left where he was going to put that ball than high and right. Yeah. They would have never gotten a handoff. Here comes a blitz. Haven't been many blitzes from Auburn. Garcia up top for Jeffrey, incomplete. Devon Washington was with him stride for stride.
Right now, Steve Spurrier has got things going. He's got the balance going that he wants. Running and passing. The running of Lattimore and Maddox, and then the occasional run by the quarterback has allowed them to get some nice openings in their passing game. Even though they didn't hit that, it's still good to take a shot down the field like that to a big receiver.
Garcia hasn't missed many. He's 8 of 11 for 114 yards. And that touchdown strike earlier to Alshon Jeffrey. He's set to throw again, maybe. Maybe not. No. Down he goes. Big loss. Lemonier and Whitaker meet him in the backfield for a loss of 8.
Lemonier and Whitaker are a pair of true freshmen that they are really high on at Auburn. You know, this Auburn defense is loaded with seniors, and the backups are freshmen. And these 2 guys are going to be outstanding players before their career's done here on the Plains.
Now it's 3rd down and a mile. Crowd getting stirred up. They picked up their last 3rd down, did the Gamecocks. They're going to have to really earn this one from the 32-yard line. And flags down. Tom Ritter is our referee tonight.
Prior to the fall start, we had a timeout charged to Auburn. That is their first charge timeout.
So Auburn takes a timeout. Gene Chizik wants to get his defense lined up right on a 3rd down and long for South Carolina when we come back in a minute. Over near Toomer's Drugs, Toomer Corner. They'd like to paper that baby tonight over there, but right now they're down a touchdown.
Well, right here's where Stephen Garcia, he's been very smart with the football, with his decision making. This is one of those situations. He's got to make a good decision here, 3rd and long.
8th play of the drive that started at their own 15. Garcia fires, had it hit. Somebody hit his arm or the ball. Incomplete. Mike Blank, I think, is the guy that got a hand on it. And so South Carolina's going to have to give it up. Big number 93 got a paw in there. That'll bring out Spencer Lanning to punt. Quindarius Carr will be the guy that'll drop back deep. The fastest guy on the Auburn team, number 9. As you look behind Spencer Lanning. And Carr camps under this one at the 20. And he got back near the 30-yard line. Nice return. Antonio Allen made the stop on the special teams. A lot of fans here in Auburn checking out the latest 3D technology used to telecast today's game on ESPN 3D at the Bud Light viewing party. ESPN 3D is going to televise almost 100 live 3D events in our first year, including the World Cup, Home Run Derby, the X Games, college football, college hoops, the NBA. There's our colleagues, Joe Tessitore on the right, Tim Brown on the left. Both got their glasses on. That's the way you got to do it to see what's happening 3D-wise. And up here in the press box, as a matter of fact, they've got a big monitor set up with a bunch of glasses. As our 3D guys with the cameras on the other side give you a whole different look. Dyer They haven't gotten anything really going on the ground with the exception of the quarterback running the football, Todd. That's not helped the Auburn offense.
Well, that's why I think they're going to have to hit some passes to loosen up the South Carolina defense a little bit and then get back to the run. They've been really run heavy. They've averaged 47 runs a game and only 17 passes coming into tonight's ball game.
And whistle stopped this play before it ever got underway. Auburn came in as the #1 rushing team in the SEC and 12th in the country at 259 yards a game.
Prior to the snap, ball start, 25, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
So they find themselves now with a second down at 13. There's the numbers. And the South Carolina defense. Ellis Johnson says, you know, that's a little misleading because South Carolina, their opponents have gotten behind and had to throw. And so sometimes the statistics can get a little bit skewed, but that one would make it look like something's got to give tonight. So far, South Carolina hasn't given much to Auburn offensively. Throw is to Zachary, though, and he's got his 3rd catch of the night. C.C. Whitlock was covering. And it's 3rd down, and at least it's manageable now because they got a chunk of yardage back.
And anytime you get in 3rd at this kind of yardage, the threat of Cameron Newton running the football puts ultimate pressure on the defense because you've got wideouts, you've got backs, and you've got a quarterback that if it's not there can make a play on his own.
Tigers have got to get to the 40 for a 1st down. Here's Newton, and here's exactly what Todd's talking about. 1st down Auburn, courtesy of the legs of the big fella out of College Park, Georgia.
You get 3rd down and 5, 3rd down and 6. I mean, that's just as easy for him to run for a 1st down in most cases as it is to throw for one.
They hurry things up now as they get to move the sticks, picking up that 1st down. A Dyer, cartwheel to the ball came out, and I think Shaq Wilson's got another one. He does. South Carolina. Shaq Wilson with his 2nd fumble recovery of the night. Is Dyer down, though, after he cartwheeled? We get another look.
I think so. I think the ball came out while he was cartwheeling, and
right.
It was a clean fumble. 2 guys sandwiched him, and the ball came out.
Josh Dickerson got most of him, and Shaq Wilson in the right place at the right time again.
Josh Dickerson and Antonio Allen collapsed on Dyer, and the ball came out.
Under further review.
The replay officials will have a look at it. Official review with just over 9.5 minutes to go in the 1st half. South Carolina with the lead, and it appears they'll have the ball, but we'll find out when we come back. Michael Dyer's fumble gives it back to South Carolina. The review upheld what we saw as this ball was out, I think, on the 1st hit.
Yeah, DJ Swearinger was the first guy to get there, and the ball came out. Another turnover in great field position now for the Gamecocks.
Last time they had a fumble recovery, they went 44 yards for the go-ahead touchdown. Right now they're at the 47, already with the touchdown lead. Garcia, here comes the pressure. He got rid of it. Got it complete to Maddox. Big gainer and a hurdle job all the way down to the 25-yard line. Brian Maddox got about 5 yards in the air.
Well, the blitz came from the opposite side, and nobody picked up Maddox. I mean, it was perfect. Craig Stevens blitzed from the quarterback's left. They rolled to the right, and Maddox was unaccounted for after the catch.
South Carolina, 3 wideouts, all to the near side here with a 1st down inside the Tiger 25-yard line. Trying to take command of this 1st half, courtesy of a couple of turnovers. Now Maddox splits out as a wide receiver. He'll come in motion and rejoin Garcia. 1st and 10, South Carolina. Maddox on the ground, stood up. Going to be probably a loss on the play. Egway made the stop. We go to Reese Davis.
All right, Brad, I want to get you up to date on what's going on in Boise. Broncos up 7-0. James Rogers, with this punt return, will become the all-time leader in all-purpose yardage for Oregon State. Rogers weaving his way, and he takes it all the way back. Oregon State has it tied up at 7, but Boise State's on the move inside the 20.
James and Quiz trying to make a difference for the Beavers of Oregon State. Here's South Carolina with a touchdown lead and trying to take advantage of another Auburn turnover. Garcia. Plenty of time. Alshon Jeffrey is his safety valve. That's a pretty good one to have.
Yeah. You know what they tried to do there? They've thrown so many wide receiver screens in the first half. They tried to bait the Auburn defense thinking they were throwing another one and tried to go down the field, but Auburn had the deep route covered. And so Garcia did the right thing. Don't force it. Go ahead and throw to the outlet, and we'll play third down.
Talked about how good they've been on third down this year, leading the conference and in the top 10 in the country. Timeout to talk about this one.
South Carolina, that is their first charge timeout of this half.
7:42 remaining till halftime. Steve Spurrier doesn't want to waste an opportunity on Michael Dyer's fumble. They lead by a touchdown.
You're watching ESPN, new home of the Bowl Championship Series.
14-7 and a big third down for South Carolina, trying to take advantage again of the fumble. Alshon Jeffrey is in tight on the left. They go down the middle, and it's a first down throw. Garcia to DeMarco. Picked up 11, and they move the sticks. For South Carolina got this football back on the second fumble recovery of the night by Shaq Wilson. As Auburn self-destructing with the fumbles tonight, have handed perfect opportunities in their own end of the field to South Carolina. There's the two guys that have fumbled tonight. Fannin first, Dyer second. Could be dire straits if South Carolina gets a touchdown here. Garcia will keep this one. He's a good runner. Nothing flashy about it, but he's effective, and he gets it down close to the 5. Let's check in with Holly.
Guys, Auburn defensive end Antoine Carr is out right now. They're examining him on the sideline. They're looking at his neck because he's experiencing some kind of discomfort or maybe tingling in that left arm. He keeps moving his wrist, moving his hand. He may have a stinger. I'll keep you updated.
All right, Holly, thanks. Lemonier, the freshman, one of those guys that made a play earlier and had a sack, is the guy that's taken Carter's spot in the lineup. 2nd and 5. South Carolina can get a first down without scoring. Garcia's going to throw the fade to the corner, and he overshot Jeffrey, and he overshot everybody. Nico Thorpe was
Garcia's pass is incomplete.
We did a game of theirs last year against Alabama in Columbia, and they tried that 3 plays in a row, and all 3 times it was incomplete. They had what they wanted. They brought the one receiver in motion to give single coverage out there with Jeffrey, the big receiver, and Garcia just threw it too far.
Auburn trying to change up their defensive personnel here. And they trot out the extra DB and Chris Davis. 3rd down and 5 for South Carolina.
Now they got Jeffrey on a freshman. Davis is a freshman over here.
There they go. The lob, and this time it's a touchdown. And for the second time tonight, South Carolina takes a defensive play and a turnover and turns it into an Alshon Jeffrey touchdown.
You see the difference in that throw. Instead of throwing to the back cone and letting your guy run to that spot, he just threw it short and let Jeffrey go up in the air and catch it over the much smaller Chris Davis.
Chris Davis at 5'10", and we talked about the big receivers. Jeffrey at 6'4", and that's just a rebound over there for him for his 2nd score of the night. And the injured player is Kyle Nunn, the right tackle for South Carolina. And he's trying, the big fella, to do a push-up to get up.
Well, that was just really well conceived by South Carolina. Davis was in the game because it was 3rd down. It was a nickel situation, so he's the extra defensive back in, and they flipped the formation to get Jeffrey working one-on-one against Davis, and that was a mismatch that favored South Carolina.
Auburn dug themselves a hole of 17 points to Clemson last week. They're going to be 14 down right here with 6:16 remaining in the first half. Spencer Lanning, his third extra point. The snap was bad, the hold was bad, and the kick's no good. Seth Strickland, I don't know if it was the snap, but I know one thing. He had a hard time getting it down. And with that, it's a knuckleball that makes it 20-7, and that could be big later. Here's the snap. Strickland, it was high, and then he just put it down, and Lanning had no shot because he was already on his way to the ball and couldn't hesitate and try to put it through. But they did score a touchdown.
It all started with the second turnover of the night, the fumble by Dyer. That's turnover number 7 and 8 now for Auburn on the season, and South Carolina capitalizes it. On third down, they go right to Jeffrey for the touchdown throw, and another beautiful throw by Stephen Garcia.
So Alshon Jeffrey, that was the big thing that Steve Spurrier talked with you and I and Holly about this week. You know, you could have a guy that comes in and he's a preseason number 2 conference performer, and the only reason he'd be a number 2 is because of guys like A.J. Green and Julio Jones. But at any rate, they wanted to get it to him. They made a point of getting it to him. Auburn's got to quit turning it over. This thing's going to be over.
Absolutely. Turnovers, you know, there's certain statistics that sometimes you look at and you say, I don't know if it's really that meaningful, but turnovers always are meaningful, particularly in a game like this where teams are evenly matched. One team turns it over, one team takes care of it, that team normally wins or is in the best position to win.
So Jay Wooten's got it teed up again. Devon Washington and Ontario McCaleb are back deep. And this one's going to go to McCaleb at about the 8. McCaleb coming to the near side, trying to outrun the interference, and he can't. They bulldog him down at about the 24-yard line. Stephon Gilmore made the stop. Time for a Sports Center right now. Let's go to Reese in the studio.
And Brad, this Sports Center right now is brought to you by Discover. It's Texas themed. The Rangers clinched the American League West, their first playoff appearance since '99. Jorge Cantu had a tie-breaking home run to beat the A's in the 8th. Texas going to the postseason. The Texas Longhorns got walloped in Austin 34-12 by UCLA. Worst home loss under Mac Brown. Sports Center coming up after the game.
Cam Newton, quarterback draw, and only got a yard or 2. The last time UCLA went to Austin, I was there for that one, and that was ugly, 66-3, and Mac's going to think this one's just as ugly. I don't think they want to invite the Bruins there anymore. Boy, ever since Stanford thumped UCLA and Rick Neuheisel gave his speech to the crowd in the stadium, they've been playing gangbusters. Auburn's got time to work with 2 timeouts. About 5.5 minutes to go. Nice play fake by Newton. Cam fires and completes it for a first down across the 35.
Second time they've hit Darvin Adams on that crossing route. There is a flag down, but that's the same action.
An eligible receiver downfield. So everything going wrong right now for Gene Chizik's troops. Turnovers and now penalties that take away first downs.
Ineligible player downfield. Number 75, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Brandon Mosley, who's in there starting because A.J. Green suffered a season-ending injury last week.
Yeah, he's just working. I mean, he doesn't really know where the line of scrimmage is. That's close. You know, you mentioned the injury to A.J. Green, but the guy that they put in after A.J. Green, John Sullen, got hurt on Tuesday this week. So really, this is their third choice at right tackle tonight.
Inside handoff, and off to the races goes McCaleb. Little wraparound draw play and a big gainer.
Well, you just saw the acceleration of McCaleb because Shaq Wilson, their leading tackler, was in position to make a play. Watch 16 in white, but he just can't catch him. He gets a bad angle, and McCaleb has a great burst at 170 pounds and gets the first down.
Dyer back in there now. They give it back to him, his first carry since fumbling.
You guys, one of the reasons Brandon Mosley might have been downfield on that last play is he might be confused. He's been playing tight end for Auburn at times this year. Think about it. Last year, he was at junior college in Coffeyville. He was a defensive end and tight end. Now he's a right tackle. He's been all over the field, guys.
Yeah, he's even got another jersey, or they would normally have him at times playing a big tight end and switching jerseys to 84. That won't happen tonight because they need him right there at 75 all the time. 2nd down and 8. Newton taking his time, maybe changing things up here. Auburn trying to cut into the South Carolina lead before the break. Newton, the screen out, running into his own traffic is Darvin Adams. That one just didn't look right from the get-go. It'll be 3rd down and about 3.
Well, again, you're in that territory. Very manageable for Auburn's offense because of the running ability of Cam Newton. Not necessarily on a called run, but on a scramble run.
Again, all the Auburn skill players have a look to the sideline. 3rd down and 3. Newton just throws it out and completes it for a 1st down to Darvin Adams.
Yeah, that was a good decision by Cam Newton. His go-to guy. There was a cushion out there with Culliver and coverage, and he made a nice, easy throw for the 1st down.
Got 7 yards and into South Carolina territory at the 44. Fannin back in there at a tailback position. They fake it to him. Newton wheels, scans the field.
Well, he's got a guy wide open, and he did not see him.
He's still running around. Cam Newton breaking tackles, close to a 1st down.
Well, credit Cam Newton for making something out of nothing, but he could have had a touchdown if he'd have only seen Terrell Zachary, because Terrell Zachary somehow got behind everybody and was running by himself.
South Carolina.
Did this play not take about 27 seconds to run? It seemed like it, didn't it? South Carolina's going to take a timeout. You can see Terrell Zachary is waving his arms, but here's what Cam Newton is seeing behind him.
He's looking inside, and at this point now he's just trying to figure out, how am I going to get out of this mess and make something happen? And he did a great job of getting some yardage and bringing up 2nd and short.
So 3 minutes remaining, and Auburn's got 2 timeouts left. That was South Carolina taking that timeout. Earlier in the quarter, we asked you our trivia question. It was, what was Superman's dad's name? The answer is the same middle name as Cam Newton, Jarrell. He said yesterday, I said, do you want to be called Cam or Cameron? He said, it doesn't matter. I said, what's your mom like? He says, it depends on how much trouble I'm in. I said, that means it's Cameron, and then she probably puts your middle name in. And Todd said, what's your middle name? And he said, the same as Superman's dad. And I came up with Jarrell. Then we went off on a little bit of a tangent.
Yeah, you got a little weird on me there.
Yeah, I did. He plays like Superman at times, and he's got a 1st down right here at the 30-yard line. His 54-yard run is the only Auburn touchdown, but they're trying to change that here in the last 3 minutes.
They got a nice drive going. They've got momentum. They've got their tempo going. They're mixing run and pass. This is an important drive. They need to put points on the board, a touchdown preferably here before halftime.
They've got a really good, experienced kicker, but like you said, they've gone this far. They'd like to get 7. Newton's got 78 yards on 7 carries. Here he gives it off to Dyer. And Dyer's really had some tough sledding on the inside. He got a yard or 2. Sutton and Ingram made the stop.
That's one that looks like maybe Newton should have kept.
Yeah.
You know, on a little zone read play, they crashed down hard on Dyer.
You see the difference in size between Dyer at 5'9" and Newton at 6'6".
Yeah.
They're making quarterbacks big these days between Terrell Pryor and Ryan Mallett, Cam Newton. I thought you were a huge quarterback when you played, but they're making them bigger. Timeout, Auburn. They're down to 1 now. 2:08 remaining in the 1st half. Auburn's got a chance to close the gap here, but they've got to come up with some plays before halftime. All right, fellas, who at halftime, a little over 2 minutes from now. Here's Cam Newton straight up the middle. Newton got it down to about the 12.
It's the same play he scored on earlier in the game. He just didn't break it back all the way to the sideline, but he really rides that fake well, which stretches the linebackers with the fake and gives them a nice crease inside.
16 more yards now for Cam Newton, and staying on the ground and getting it down inside the 10 is Michael Dyer. Auburn with a hurry up, not giving Auburn, or rather South Carolina, a chance to change up anything defensively.
They've got the one timeout left. They want to try to save that as long as possible. Now see, now that they've subbed after the ball has been spotted, the umpire's standing right over the ball, and he lets the defense have a chance to sub if they want.
That's a long way from their sideline down there to the 7. Dyer bounced his way close to a first down. He ran into his own guy, Lutzenkirchen, who was trying to block for him. And I think he's going to be just a shade shy, about a yard shy of the first down, actually. Nice tackle by Lutzenkirchen. Too bad he's his teammate.
Yeah.
So it's 3rd and short. This might be a quarterback draw for Cam Newton. He'll keep it. Newton, touchdown. Second touchdown of the night for the Auburn quarterback. And they're right back in the thick of this one.
Well, you can say we don't want our quarterback to be our leading rusher. We don't want to try to go through the whole season doing that, but clearly he is their best running threat tonight in the ball game. Keep feeding it to him.
Byram's extra point is good. Impressive drive by the Auburn offense. And they cap it off with number 2's second scoring run of the night and his 4th of the year. 12 plays, 76 yards in about 5.5 minutes, and that was big before halftime.
He's just a big body. I mean, you know, Mike Berry was leading on the play, the left guard, but didn't block his man, and there was an unblocked guy there. But you're trying to tackle a 250-pound quarterback coming with a full head of steam, and by the time you get him on the ground, he's 3/4 of the way into the end zone.
One of the few quarterbacks coming in averaging over 100 yards rushing per game on the season, and he's right in there already in the first half. Reminder, Chris Berman hosts ESPN's 2-hour Sunday NFL pregame show. Get all the news and the latest updates from stadiums around the league right up until kickoff. Sunday NFL Countdown presented by IBM. Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Cameron Newton, 97 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. And Wes Byram set to kick it away. That's Chris Culliver waiting for the Gamecocks at about the 5-yard line. South Carolina has 1 timeout left, and it would depend probably on Culliver's return if he gets a decent one, what they might try to do offensively. Culliver from the 6. Stays on the near side, trying to hit the corner, and flags are down. They might have an illegal block, which would, or a face mask. If it's a face mask, they will have good field position. It's holding. Well, South Carolina, their last drive, as we take a look at our Chick-fil-A drive recap. It happened after the fumble. At first it was Maddox who hurdled his way for a first down. And then Garcia flipped it out. Alshon Jeffrey got a nice block, got decent yardage before going out of bounds. Found DeMarco down the middle. And then they capped it off on the fade that was just pitch and catch over the small freshman corner. Alshon Jeffrey's second touchdown grab of the night. But they missed the extra point, so it's a 6-point game with 41 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Nice numbers for Steven Garcia. Lattimore brought down by Fairley. Looks like Steve Spurrier is just going to be comfortable with trying nothing fancy and taking a 6-point lead to the locker room.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're on the road. We've already documented the struggles this team has had on the road. Last year, they lost at Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and Arkansas by a combined 149-86. So winning an SEC game on the road, a critical step for this South Carolina team.
Their last one was 2 years ago against Kentucky, but they're halfway to this one. And I stress halfway. Good half of football here on the Plains. Auburn trailing South Carolina by 6 as we go down to Holland.
Well, Coach Spurrier, what has helped your passing game be more effective here in the first half?
Oh, Steven's throwing some good ones. Our guys are getting open, catching everything. We need to get them off the field a little better. But we got a heck of a ball game going, so should be a good one in the second half.
What do you like about Shaq Wilson's return to the field for you?
He's got some turnovers. Turnovers has been good for us.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Again, at halftime, South Carolina on the road with the lead. An extra point looms large, though. 20-14 our halftime score. And it's time for the Wendy's halftime report. Reese, Mark, and Lou standing by back in the studio. Fellas. From Auburn, it's the SEC on ESPN. Our Saturday primetime presented by Hampton Hotels, and it's been a good one in the SEC so far. Just about set to start the third quarter with South Carolina on the road leading Auburn 20-14. Number 12 leading number 17. You take a look at the halftime statistics. You look at the rushing yards for Auburn. It's a little misleading because most of them came from their quarterback. But the big one, Todd Blackledge down there in the corner, 2 turnovers.
Yeah.
That turned into 14 points. But I got to tell you, the drive that Auburn put together to end the first half in the last down to 48 seconds,
right.
They had to have that one.
Absolutely. I mean, they couldn't afford to get too far behind because South Carolina's offense has got good rhythm tonight. Very important drive. Now they get the ball, and remember a week ago they exploded in the third quarter.
Right.
So some good halftime adjustments made by the offensive staff last week. Let's see what they do tonight.
And that third quarter against Clemson, they'd like to have bottled that and put it into this game. Maybe they will. We'll find out. But without number 2, they would be in a world of hurt right now because he was their leading rusher with 97 yards, including 2 touchdowns to keep them in the game. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, I checked in with Coach at Auburn, Gene Chizik, and he said he didn't even have to have the ball security conversation in the locker room at halftime. He goes, they know if we turn it over, we can't win. He said, bottom line, we have to lock in right now and play a more physical football game. He challenged them to be more physical at the line of scrimmage, and he said, hey, we hold on to this ball, we're right back into this game. He doesn't sense any fatigue from that physical overtime game last week. He said, I feel like our guys are ready to roll.
I would think that their adrenaline will kick back in right here because, as Todd said, they're going to get the football first. And sometimes how that first 5 minutes of a third quarter goes can kind of tell you maybe how the rest of the game's going to go. They've got the fans all geared up. Second week in a row that it's been night football here at Jordan-Hare Stadium. I'm sure Dyer would like to get his hands on it and do something with it other than cough it up. He didn't have much luck in the first half. Lattimore, his counterpart, did a little bit better job rushing the football for South Carolina. Third quarter. Here we go. McCaleb takes the kick and cuts near side and goes out of bounds as he crosses 25 out to about the 28-yard line. Michael Dyer, highly touted freshman tailback who's had a good start to the season, but tonight not much on the inside, not much on the cutback, and not much doing when you get cartwheeled and lose the football.
Only 22 yards on 8 carries in that first half, but a whole half of football ahead for him in the Auburn offense.
And here is the Auburn offense. McCaleb will start things off as the Auburn tailback to Cam Newton's left from the 29. He rides McCaleb and goes straight ahead, and now Newton's over 100 yards rushing.
Well, that's been their best running play, and it all is set up by how patient Cam Newton is carrying out the fake. Now, he gets up a little gingerly, but he really rides with the fake and actually takes a couple steps in the direction the back is going to move the linebackers and then cuts right up on the inside. That's the third or fourth time they've run that play tonight, including his long touchdown run.
And he got 9 more there. So over the century mark for the Auburn quarterback on the first snap of the third quarter. This time he does again the same play. Rides it to the left, goes out for the first down.
See, you have to respect the speed of McCaleb getting to the outside because that's been a staple of this offense. So watch how long he rides the fake. He even steps that way and freezes the defense on that side. He froze the defensive end, Cliff Matthews, and then cut right up inside for a big gain.
So he got 17 yards on 2 carries here in the opening minute of the third quarter. And Auburn's got it all the way out to the 47-yard line. This time he gives it to McCaleb, and he shows that speed. Got to the outside. McCaleb almost broke it. Got to the 40 of South Carolina. Pick up the 13. There's a whole nother notch of speed right there.
Well, this starts out like it's going to be the same thing. McCaleb's going to be going to the left. He shows left and then bounces it out to the right side and shows that quickness to get to the outside. He steps out of the arm tackle of Hakeem Auguste, the safety, and adds extra yardage.
In the gun, here's a little bit of option, and the pitch to McCaleb. Oh, and dragged down. That's an ugly landing.
Well, he was being drugged down, and he was exposed, and Stephon Gilmore came in and really finished off the play. Watch number 5 come in here at the end.
Oh,
got him with a shoulder.
Glad he was able to bounce up. Those kind of landings are not good. Can ask Bo Jackson in his NFL career play very similar to that on the other side of the field back in the day. That was pretty much Bo's last piece of football. And McCaleb, they're going to keep running him, trying to get him free. Gilmore makes another tackle in the secondary.
Say, that's not an easy play that Gilmore just made. We've already seen the speed and the burst that McCaleb has, and you're 1-1 out there in space. If you don't make the tackle, it might be another touchdown for Auburn. And Gilmore got him on the ground.
Eric Smith now in there in the backfield. But here you would expect that Cameron Newton is going to put it in the air. Third down at 7. He's been more effective as a runner than he has a passer so far tonight. But he's got a rocket arm. Newton sets, pump fakes. And now he will take off. And he's going to be stopped short of the first down. Adjaboy brings him down after he weaved his way for a few yards, but it's going to be 4th down and about 3. Actually 4. After the spot, it's a long 4 at that. They've got to get all the way to the 30-yard line. And with that, they're going to bring out the field goal unit. Wes Byram, who is 4 out of 5 on the year after being 15 of 16 a year ago.
We did have 1 blocked in the 4th quarter of the Mississippi State game. A lot of times on longer field goals, you don't get them up quite as quick.
This is a long one. 52-yard field goal attempt by Byram. And he's going to push it to the right. And South Carolina holds, courtesy of bringing down Cam Newton prior to that first down. So they had something working, but they come up empty. And the score remains the same as the kick goes wide to the right. Still 20-14 South Carolina. Back at Jordan-Hare Stadium, college football primetime presented by Hampton Hotel. South Carolina by 6, 11:31 remaining. Marcus Lattimore, the highly touted freshman. He and Michael Dyer have both been held in check tonight. As you see, Lattimore flanking Stephen Garcia in the gun. Garcia with a couple of touchdown passes to Alshon Jeffrey tonight. He gives it to Lattimore, and again, Auburn waiting for him. And Zach Clayton made the stop.
Hit by number 98.
Well, most services, including ESPN.com, had Lattimore and Michael Dyer 1 and 2, or some people had them 1 and 2 the other way as far as being the best backs in the country a year ago as high school seniors. And while they came in with some impressive numbers, the defenses tonight know all about them, and neither one has been able to get unleashed so far. 2nd and 7. Quick slant in and out of the hands of Jeffrey, looking for a flag. Didn't get it. Nico Thorpe was covering. And it'll be 3rd down and long.
Yeah, that was pretty good coverage, not just by Thorpe, but the defensive end. Antoine Carter was dropping back into coverage as well, and he was there to affect the vision of the receiver in addition to Thorpe.
Auburn's defense trying to get the ball back for their offense as they trail by 6. 3 receivers to the top of the screen, including DeMarco, the slot man.
Yeah, that's where they went the last 3rd down, in the middle.
Garcia's in trouble. They might not go anywhere with this one. Ted Roof hasn't blitzed much tonight, but he sent Damon Washington, and it paid off. First 3 and out for South Carolina.
Well, it looks like they're going to bring a lot of people, but they are only going to rush 3 guys. They're dropping linemen, or 4 guys are all that rush, but the outside man, McNeil, came unblocked, and he was there to get the sack.
So they force Spencer Lanning to punt. Darius Carr back on the other end. And he's going to have to backpedal and call fair catch. Nice kick all the way back to the 20-yard line. But Auburn has got it back courtesy of Damon Washington, who came off the corner to get to Stephen Garcia. And it'll give Auburn a chance offensively when we come back.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Bank of America and Allstate. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate. Are you in good hands?
The majority of Auburn's offense tonight's come from number 2, Cameron Newton, who started his career after being a star at College Park, Georgia, for the Florida Gators. When he found out that Tim Tebow was coming back for his final season, he chose to transfer to Blinn Junior College in Texas, and he led Blinn to the National Junior College Football Championship. He said the bus rides or the van rides were kind of long. Kind of a circuitous route to get to Auburn, Alabama, as the starting quarterback, and a star here tonight. And here he goes again for about 6 more yards as he continues to add to his night rushing. He's up to 124 on the ground.
You know, similar to what Michigan is doing with Denard Robinson at quarterback. You know, you say, okay, yeah, we would rather have other guys carry the football, but this is what the defense is giving us.
Yep.
And the problem is a defense always wants to get one more man than you can block.
Dyer. This is his best run of the night. Michael Dyer's got a first down.
I just want to explain that point. Every defensive coordinator always is trying to get +1. One more blocker or one more defender than you can block. But when the quarterback runs, it makes him play 11 on 11 because it evens everything out. And so that quarterback threat of a run really makes a defense more honest.
He's the guy you can't account for, and they haven't accounted very well for Cam Newton on the ground tonight. 1st and 10. Dyer again. This time he jumps through the hole off right tackle and got out to the 39-yard line. Nice run. Devin Taylor knocked him off his feet.
Here's the one thing that's kind of interesting about Gus Malzahn's offense. You see the quarterback in the shotgun, the motion, the subs, the no huddle, all that, and you assume it's just pass only all over the place. But it is primarily a power running offense. It's the inside zone, it's the counter, it's the power game, and then throw off a play action.
2nd and short, swing it out, complete to Blake. Blake broke a tackle, just tripped up as he crossed midfield. Gilmore got a hand on his shoe, or he might have been gone.
There was play action. The little wide receiver screen after they've run the ball effectively. And on first downs, I mean, this is Auburn's rundown. I mean, more than anything else. They're 2nd in the country how much they run on first down.
Here they run with Dyer, and Dyer gets away and got inside the 40, and I think he's got a first down. And now Number 5's getting fired up and getting into a groove.
See, this is where you want to push the tempo, because look at the South Carolina defense walking back into position, hands on their hips. This is when Gus Malzahn says, let's crank up the tempo a little bit. We got the defense moving backwards a little bit. Now the defense is getting the help because they're going to measure, so the officials are calling timeout to measure and forcing Auburn to slow down.
And you hear the boos from the Auburn fans because they wanted that tempo to just keep on cranking as they bring the sticks from the far side. And we might not be able to see this. The referee's right on top of it, and it is first down.
First down.
We mentioned they have a very elaborate play calling system. They've got colors, they've got numbers, they've got guys signaling on the sidelines. Some of it's live, some of it's dummy. But everybody has to be in sync, and the key is let's get the play called, let's get the right personnel on the field, and let's be ready to go.
First down at the 39-yard line of South Carolina. Auburn trailing and trying to change that. Dyer hitting the hole and then really got peppered by the second guy, Adjuboy, who let him have it after a pickup of maybe 2. Watch this second hit. There's the wrap-up. Boom. Ouch. So second down along 8. And now they've got Dyer behind Newton in sort of a pistol formation.
See, they're flipping those cards on the sideline now. They're changing the color, they're changing the number. Everything done at the line of scrimmage now by Cam Newton.
World Series of Poker going on. Newton sets, comes back, complete. Adams inside the 20. His 4th catch of the night. And Gilmore had to make an open field stop again.
Where in the world was Gilmore? I mean, he was so far away from Darvin Adams.
And now Auburn in the red zone. First down at the 19-yard line. Quick snap. Straight up the middle is Dyer, and he's got it to the 13. Lonnie Holloman made the stop.
See, look at Gus Malzahn. He's saying, go, 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 go. We got them on their heels a little bit. Now's when we got a tempo.
2nd and 3. Dyer again. He's got a first down. He's got more than that. 1st and goal. Auburn.
We talked to Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator at South Carolina. He was very adamant, very animated. He doesn't like this tempo, and some of the rules favor the offense being able to do this. And the defense at a disadvantage trying to substitute and keep up.
He did get one new guy in there. 10th play of the drive. Auburn 1st and goal. The South Carolina 6. Trying to take the lead here in the 3rd quarter. Newton. Dyer puts his head down and got to the 4, maybe inside the 4. Adjuboy again in on the stop. They haven't had to pass much. They've got it working, and there's Gus Malzahn saying, come on, let's go. He changes up his personnel. He brings in Fannin and Eric Smith.
Will follow number 32. The ball's going to go behind number 32, and I would expect to see Cam Newton carrying it.
There it is. There it goes. Touchdown. Third touchdown of the night rushing for Cameron Newton. And Auburn never took their foot off the gas pedal that entire drive. Byram for the lead. Up and good. 21-20 Tigers.
Well, a couple great blocks. Eric Smith's going to get a block, and watch the left guard, Mike Berry, get around there and lead Cam Newton right into the end zone. Here comes Berry. Knocks the head back, and Newton into the end zone for another touchdown. They put these fullbacks in. They give them a specific job. You kick out, Mike Berry will lead up through, and Cam Newton will get right on his hip and get the score.
And that scoring drive, 80 yards in 11 plays, 3 minutes and 46 seconds. And as we say in the South, the whole drive we were mashing the gas.
Yeah, you could just feel that when that team defense started putting their hands on their hips, it was time to go.
Now 87,000 plus are into it. A lot of football left, 6:14 remaining in the third quarter. As Steven Garcia and the offense awaits a chance to get it back and try to do their thing offensively. Remember, the missed extra point already has become a factor. Byram's kick will take Culliver to the goal line. Culliver out near the 25 as we go to Reese Davis in the studio. Reese.
All right, Brad, Oklahoma and Cincinnati. Bearcats down by 9. Just over a minute to go. Zach Tavares dump it out to Adrian Robinson. He'll go in and score for Cincinnati. They gave it to him, 31-29. Now the Bearcats need the onside kick with 58 seconds to go. Had a shot at it, and the Sooners come up with it and escape by 2. A near miss for the Big East.
We're getting wound up here in the SEC on ESPN. 21-20. And the crowd now in the ear of Garcia in South Carolina. Garcia, plenty of time, fires deep middle, wide open. Alshon Jeffrey. Jeffrey has got a shot at it here. Down the sideline and all the way down. It's first and goal. That'll quiet the crowd. 69-yard pass play.
Wow. Kind of an unusual play because the quarterback is rolling to the left. You don't normally expect an inside breaking route with a sprint out to that way, but that's exactly what Steve Spurrier called, and Jeffrey was wide open. And Garcia, rolling to his left, made a nice throw.
So in one play, the Gamecocks have got it first and goal at the Tigers' 6. Lattimore cuts back, tripped up as he got to about the 3. Talk about having an answer for the long Auburn scoring drive. 2 plays is all so far for Steve Spurrier's South Carolina team. Second down and goal.
Well, he's got to be thrilled with the way Garcia has played tonight.
Exactly.
He has been mistake-free. I mean, he has taken care of the ball. He's made good decisions. He's been accurate. He's run when he's needed to. And now he's got a chance to put his team back on top.
Second and goal, South Carolina at the Tiger 3. Trying to regain the lead. Garcia rolls to throw to the corner. Got his man. Touchdown. Torrey Gurley. 3-yard scoring toss. Garcia's third of the night.
First of all, again, a nice job by Garcia catching the snap. It was another low lefter, and he wanted to roll to his right. So he catches the snap. He gets the ball up in position to throw and delivers it to the right spot, to the outside arm of the receiver away from the defender.
Garcia 14 of 20, 230 yards, and now 3 touchdowns. And a 75-yard march that only took a minute and a half. Lanning. This extra point is up and good. So a 6-point difference again with 4:45 remaining in the third quarter. Garcia has been near perfect for South Carolina. Steve Spurrier liking what he sees. The SEC on ESPN. South Carolina back in front now on a Steven Garcia touchdown. My guess is that neither one of these guys on Monday Night Football is going to run for 3 touchdowns as Cam Newton has, but one of them very well may pass for 3 touchdowns as Steven Garcia has done. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers take on the Bears at Chicago. Coverage on ESPN's Monday Night Football starts at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, served up by Applebee's. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, our ESPN primetime crew at Jordan-Hare Stadium, where we have had an exciting ball game. A lot of big plays. And moments ago, Garcia with his 3rd touchdown toss of the night. This one to Torrey Gurley.
You know, and I think Steve Spurrier fully intended to play his other quarterback, Connor Shaw, tonight, but he's no dummy. I mean, his quarterback is hot and is in control of the game, and there's no sense messing with it right now.
Jay Wooten to kick off. This one's deep. Devon Washington right at the goal line. He's going to bring it. Got to the 20, and that's it. Let's check in with Reese Davis in the studio. Reese.
Oh, Brad, I'm going to tell you, the Dogs in Georgia are going to be howling because Mississippi State, their version of the Bulldogs, putting a whipping on Georgia. Chris Relf, Arcito Clark, touchdown. Mississippi State's added another one. They're up 24-6 with just over a minute and a half to play.
Not a good start of the season for Georgia's Dogs, huh? They lost to South Carolina in a thrilling game, really, but it was Marcus Lattimore that turned on the steam and helped South Carolina win that game. You saw the numbers of Cam Newton. So impressive tonight. Here he is with a quick toss out the flat to Blake. And Blake broke one tackle and actually got bounced forward by Josh Dickerson. Got positive yardage on the tackle. Let's see if Auburn goes back to hurry up again. They're at the line.
They really like this Emory Blake, a freshman out of Austin, Texas. They think he's got a chance, or sophomore rather. They think he's got a chance to be a great player in this offense.
He got 9 to get shoved forward. About a yard shy of the first down. Play action. Newton on the corner. He's going to run with it, get the first down, and he'll get close to 10 more.
Well, they've run that play 2 or 3 times, and he's hit Darvin Adams on the crossing route. That time, South Carolina was a little more ready for Adams crossing the field, and I think that was a great decision by Cam Newton to run it. Get the first down, get out of bounds, and move the chains again.
And they do out to the 40-yard line. 139 yards on the ground for Cam Newton. This time, going to swing it out. And Lutzenkirchen kept his hand down and picked up his first catch. Holly?
You watch the communication system on the Auburn sideline with Coach Gus Malzahn. It is so complicated and intricate, guys. Thursday at practice, the coaches all had headsets on. They practice it because it's hard for them to go this quick and be this efficient. So they were doing it Thursday practice.
And they're putting it to good use tonight. Dyer bulldozing his ways about a yard shy of the first down.
Well, the other thing, and to add to Holly's point, the reason all the coaches have to be in sync and be on headsets during practice is because their substitutions are play-specific. When they put people in the game, they put them in to run specific plays. They don't just want to change the personnel group. They change the personnel in order to run certain plays for certain people.
3rd and a yard. I would think quarterback right here. And first down, a pickup of about 4.
Yeah. That time Cam said, well, I'm supposed to fake, but there's nobody here to fake it. I'm going to run it anyway, so who cares? I'll fake it to air and then just keep it.
The old air fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of like air guitar. Got a first down at the 47 of South Carolina. Michael Dyer taking it wide, putting his head down and delivering a blow on Chris Culliver. He made the stop. Those two jaw a little bit at the end of the play.
He's running with more confidence, though. You know, the fact after that fumble, he was dejected on the sideline. They got him back in the game. They got him back in the flow. And mixing him in with Cam Newton running, he's running with more aggressiveness right now.
Now he's got 67 yards on the night. North Carolina showing blitz. Newton calmly looks back over those cards that Todd's been talking about. On a 2nd down and 7. Here comes the blitz. Newton fires. Incomplete. Darvin Adams had his hand on it. Culliver was covering.
Yeah, that was a good throw. Yeah, that was a good hard throw on the in route, the dig route. I think he got both hands on it, not just one.
Adams might have been hearing a little bit of footsteps from that safety. I guess he got his hands out there, but he knew he was going to take a shot from Swearingen. took it anyway. This might be 2 down territory. 3rd down at 7. 3 wideouts to the near side. Newton's going to flare it out. Here comes Eric Smith for a 1st down. Lost the ball. And it's still bouncing around. Let's see.
I don't know if South Carolina ever gained possession.
I think it went out of bounds.
He had a 1st down after the catch. And then the ball went backwards. It'll be interesting to see. Now, he gets the 1st down before he fumbles. The ball is out. Did the ground cause the fumble or not?
It looked like it from that angle, and then you see it's going to go hit the sideline. So the possession would be to the team that had it last, and that's Auburn.
And it goes back behind the 1st down marker. He had the 1st down with the catch, but when the ball went backwards and out of bounds, it makes it now a 4th and short. Guess who's going to care?
I can't believe I have to look at that, though. I thought maybe he was down by contact with the ground.
Yeah, they're going to look at it now. Again, in college football, they review every play. And it's just a matter of if they buzz down to the officials on the field, hey, we're going to stop play and take a longer look.
Well, this is going to be a better look. Robert Rougeau, I talked to him at halftime, our replay official. Now, from there, it's hard to tell because he nosedived and you don't know when the ball came out. You do know that South Carolina didn't get it because it hit the sideline.
South Carolina has called timeout to challenge the ruling on the previous play.
What would they be challenging?
What would they be challenging? Because they never got possession of the ball. It went out of bounds. First down line comes obviously into play here too, which is another thing.
All right, so the ball is out before he hits the ground.
Okay.
That angle shows it was truly a fumble.
Then he kicks it. And
now,
then
South Carolina never
it.
gets possession. That's why it's a little unusual that they would challenge the call, because they never had possession of the ball before it went out of bounds.
So I think what we have on the field is what we're going to end up with, which is 4th down and a couple of feet for Auburn's offense, because it was very clear that that ball hit the chalk line on the near sideline before it was scooped up. Well, I don't know, clear to us. We'll see if these guys agree. Steve and Gene can only wait. As mentioned, Robert Rougeau, our replay official tonight. And again, in the right-hand side, you're going to see the ball hit the sideline right there on the hop. And now it did come back into the field of play. Definitely was out, though. That part's for sure.
Well, I think if they lose this challenge, they lose a timeout as well.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. 4th down.
So Steve loses one. Has a half a smile and grimace on his face at the same time.
Timeout. They also lose their challenge for the game.
And they're done with challenges as well. Now it comes to Auburn on 4th down here.
Now here's the only thing. Now, I don't know that it'll make a difference on this short of a situation. The only thing about this offense, when your quarterback is in the shotgun the majority of the time, you take the ball off the line of scrimmage when you only need less than a yard. Now, every now and then, Auburn will go quick huddle and line up under center and try to snap it quick. They may do that right here. Instead of going into the shotgun, they may try to line up really quick and snap it quick and run a quarterback sneak.
Otherwise, they're going to have 5 or 6 yards to go to get back to the line for Newton if he carries it.
South Carolina has the ability to use their timeout at this point.
So by taking the timeout to get the challenge and review, they get the opportunity to huddle their whole team up a little bit after they saw at least, I guess, what Auburn's personnel was going to be. Not necessarily formation, but they saw who was out there for the most part.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
So an opportunity here for Auburn to get right back in the thick of things after giving up 3 touchdown passes tonight. I know Gene Chizik being a defensive-minded guy, has not been crazy about his pass defense tonight. But he's got to love what he sees from his quarterback, that's for sure.
Well, he's got to love that, and he's got to love what he's seen from his team in back-to-back weeks in the third quarter.
Right.
You know, last week they were down 17-3 going into the third quarter, and they exploded. This time they exploded and got right back into this ball game. Even though they're behind, they're moving the football, and they've got great momentum.
Here they do come up close, as Todd said they might. And Newton going forward. His forward progress in second effort, he got it. But he had to fight for it like crazy.
Well, he didn't need much. I mean, it was less than a yard was all that he needed. South Carolina did a nice job of stopping for a very short game, but it was about a football length at most.
I think his first surge, just at being 6'6", got it right there.
Exactly.
And then he kept his feet going, took a shot in the head, and then definitely picked it up right there. So it's first down, Auburn, as you hear the crowd roar. 144 yards rushing for Cameron Newton. If you're wondering, well, how many could he end up with? He had 171 earlier this season, so he's not done.
Well, here comes that play where they fake the outside, I bet.
South Carolina almost jumped, and now Newton takes his time. First and 10. At the South Carolina 36. Trailing by 6. Play action roll the other way and comes back to Lutzenkirchen. And he's close to a first down.
Gus Malzahn says we are a rhythm offense. Well, they've got their rhythm right now. I mean, they've got the mix. They go outside, they go inside, they go quarterback run, little pass.
And now Dyer for the first down. He's close to the 23-yard line. Antonio Allen made the stop. And here Auburn goes right back to the line, much like they did in their last scoring drive. Dyer picked up 5 more. At the 23. They'll try it again. Spinning his way. One of his better runs tonight. Now to the 17, maybe the 16. Dyer's starting to get the juices flowing a little bit.
And a late flag at the end of that play. Darvin Adams was blocking downfield, and I think he might have drawn a personal foul penalty on South Carolina at the end of the play. Chris Culliver, I think, took a late shot at Darvin Adams and got caught.
That would put it way down inside the 5-yard line, or close to it.
After the play, personal foul, number 17, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Half the distance inside the 10-yard line, I should have said that, or the 8. So it's first and goal. Mario Fannin back into the Auburn backfield. This looks like maybe a thing where you fake it to Fannin and keep on going, or just take it and run it yourself. And Newton got a yard, maybe 2. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, Culver came out after getting that penalty, but they're also without their safety, Devontae Holloman. He took a hit to the head. He's been out much of this drive. So DJ Swearinger in for him.
Now second down and goal at the 7. 13-play drive so far. It's covered already 71 yards. Tigers looking for 7 more right here. Newton stands tall. And he's going to throw this one away.
Good decision. It wasn't there early. That was a timing throw. It was well covered by South Carolina, and he does the smart thing. Throw it out of the back of the end zone. I remember, this guy, now he played a whole year at Blinn Junior College, but that's a long way from the SEC. He's not started many games as a college quarterback. Growing on the job.
Third and goal, Auburn. Newton rolls, fires, complete at the 1 to Terrell Zachary. Well, the fans aren't going to be happy on the left side of the field, because a yard away on the right side of the field is where they're cheering. We got to switch ends. Auburn a yard away from taking the lead. Will they? We'll find out when the fourth quarter opens up in a minute. Some of the things you don't get to see unless you're at the stadium. The entire Auburn team works its way toward the end zone, and that's where I said the happy season ticket holders are, awaiting a 4th and goal at the 1. 78 yards so far in 15 plays. The biggest one is 2 feet away from the goal line right here.
I like the call. You know, you got a whole quarter to play. Even if you don't score here, your defense starts with South Carolina on the 1.
Newton, touchdown.
I don't think
Flags are down.
Yeah, that was illegal motion. The line moved. There were a couple guys that moved before the snap, and this is going to back it up.
Snap, false start, right tackle, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Brandon Mosley. Now do you kick the field goal?
Yeah, you have to kick it now. Now you kick it because you're down 3 if you make the field goal. At the 1, you go for it. If you don't make it, you play defense on the 1-yard line.
They didn't give a number, so I'm not going to blame Brandon Mosley completely. It might have been somebody else on that side. 23-yard field goal attempt by Wes Byram to try to make it a field goal game. From the right hash, Byram's kick hit the upright, and it comes out. Oh, disaster for Auburn. First they thought they'd get a touchdown, and now they miss a field goal. It was a tight angle. It's even shorter than an extra point for one thing. Let's check the hold and everything else. Now they got it down and got it spun, but he hit the right upright and it came back out. That's the problem when you get that close. It's actually closer than an extra point, and the angle is so dynamic. And he just hit it right in the middle of that right post.
Not enough room to hook it in there.
Nope.
So 2 misfires. The misfire on the penalty that stopped the touchdown, and the missed kick.
Yeah, we got a whole quarter to play. A lot of football left. Garcia, he's going to take off. Well, he's not taking off anywhere. Actually broke a tackle, and he moves out. Ball is out. Auburn, I think, has got it. They've got it. Garcia, fumble.
Darren Bates, number 25, laid the wood on Garcia. Bates was a starting safety last year. They moved him to linebacker this year, and he loves to hit. And he hit Garcia like a ton of bricks.
And he's hurt. Garcia did a nice job to negate the sack right here. Then you're going to see him just slide off, and he muscles his way, and he actually has positive yardage until right there, right in the helmet, and out comes the ball. And T-Bell has the fumble recovery. Oof.
Well, I guess that missed kick and the penalty didn't hurt him after all.
We'll see at the 26. Cam Newton behind his blockers. Newton's got 10. He's got almost 15 more.
You don't think this guy's tough? He could have very easily run out of bounds there and saved himself one less hit. Not this guy. He lowered the shoulder at the end of that run. Watch this. Not out of bounds. I'm taking number 5 on.
Down to the 11-yard line. Dyer back in there with him. And he'll get the call. Maybe to the 7. Dickerson made the tackle. So the combination on the ground in this second half of Newton, the quarterback who was so effective in the first half, and now the freshman tailback. They just keep motoring down the field. Again, they can get a first down inside the 1. It'd be close enough that they'd almost have a touchdown if they get that close. Second down at the 7. Newton looks to throw and does to the corner. Incomplete. Intended for Darvin Adams. Stephon Gilmore was covering.
And Gilmore was in perfect position. I mean, first of all, he knows that he's got the back of the end zone almost like double coverage. So he just has to stay bodied up in front of Darvin Adams and makes it impossible for the quarterback to drop the football in.
Eric Smith back into the Auburn backfield. As Todd has said, sometimes where Eric Smith goes, Cameron Newton goes. 3rd and 6.
Play clock's down to 5. Cameron Newton may not be aware of the play clock. Yes, he was at the last minute. He saw it.
Auburn.
We'll take the timeout along with him at 13:40 remaining in the 4th quarter. Auburn trailing but driving on number 12 South Carolina. He's some kind of player. Here it's 426 yards of offense for Auburn.
Unbalanced line. They've got both tackles on the right side.
Newton drops back, lofts it wide open. Lutzenkirchen, touchdown. Philip Lutzenkirchen with the longest name in Auburn history. This time a 7-yard touchdown. Byron for the point after. And the kick this time is good. Auburn back in front. 26 yards in just 4 plays.
That was a great call out of the timeout because they went with an unbalanced line, and it made it look like they were going to run to the right because they had Zimba moved over here. And here's Lutzenkirchen. He's going to go out this way and be wide open in the end zone. It looked like run right for sure, and it was throw left for a wide open receiver.
Cam Newton says, we almost couldn't get all the letters on the back of your jersey, but I see you, my man. And he got it to him for the touchdown. Little duck under, and then a wide open Lutzenkirchen for the score.
Well, once again, that missed extra point from South Carolina.
Yep.
Still hanging out there. The last time South Carolina scored, Steve Spurrier opted to just kick and not go for 2. At some point, he may have to go for 2.
Garcia's got his helmet back on, even though Connor Shaw had warmed up a little bit. But Holly told us during the break from the sideline he's set to go. Boy, the Auburn fans getting their money's worth for 2 Saturday nights in a row, or what?
I guess so.
Overtime against Clemson, and now a 1-pointer against South Carolina. Auburn trying to keep pace in the West with Alabama as the Tide had to come from behind at Fayetteville today to beat the Razorbacks. Byram's kick. Bryce Sherman's going to camp under it at about the 9-yard line. Sherman out across the 30 to the 31. And let's check in with Reese Davis. Reese, what do you got?
Going on ABC, Boise State and Oregon State. Couple of personal foul penalties on Boise State. Aided the Oregon State drive, and Quiz Rogers dances into the end zone to cut it to 24-17. But Kellen Moore answers with his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. Tyler Shoemaker grabbing it 270 yards through the air for the Heisman candidate. Boise up by 14.
The crowd right in Stephen Garcia's ear. First down, Gamecocks trailing by 1. Garcia ran with it last time and took a big hit. This time he got 9. He's not afraid to stick his nose back in there. Garcia, first 3 games of the season. We talked about the completion percentage. Tonight, 230 yards, no interceptions, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. He's played a fabulous ball game, and even the fumble, you can't really say it was a mistake because he was fighting for yards. It was just the first negative play he's had all night. And he comes right back and runs on the first play back.
For 9 yards, 2nd and 1. Here he goes again, and he's got a big opening off the right side doing his Cam Newton imitation, and he's out to the 46-yard line. 15 more yards for Garcia.
The other quarterback, Connor Shaw, is really the better runner. He's got more speed, but that's the zone read play. And when they crash down, the quarterback's responsibility is to keep the football. And Garcia is a good runner, but Connor Shaw is an excellent runner.
Connor Shaw, true freshman out of Flowery Branch, Georgia. His brother J-Bo played at Georgia Tech before transferring to Georgia Southern this year. 1st and 10 at the 45. Lattimore. Tough inside run. Might have gotten 3. Josh Bynes in on the stop defensively. Marcus Lattimore, it hasn't been easy tonight for anything he's got. Guy that almost came to Auburn. We talked about it earlier. Final 2 choices were Auburn and South Carolina. Decided to stay in his home state. He's out of Duncan, South Carolina. And just not much there for him tonight.
But his impact is felt. I mean, his presence, even though he doesn't have the numbers, opens up things for other people.
2nd down and 8. He's behind Garcia here in the shotgun. They're going to flare it out to him. Makes the catch. Cuts back to the inside. He's short of the 1st down. His 3rd catch of the evening.
We talked about the difference he's made on this team from a yardage standpoint. How about touchdowns? He gained his 6th touchdown in the game tonight.
Right.
The leader for 12 games last year for South Carolina only had 5. So, I mean, he's already surpassed the best they had last year, running it and scoring it.
Third down and a long 2, almost 3. Oh, flags are down. Snap was strange. We had a false start on South Carolina.
Ugly.
Prior to the snap, false start, 73, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Vicious Watkins, the right guard.
Well, it took so long. These linemen, when they have their hand on the ground, they don't like to wait that long. 3rd and 3, they're expecting to fire off the ball and get a 1st down, and Garcia is trying to change the play, and they're just waiting and waiting and waiting. Now, instead of 3rd and 3, it's 3rd and 8.
Sort of like getting a racehorse in a starting gate. They don't like hanging around until the 13th horse gets in.
Let's go.
3rd and 8. Getting noisy here in Auburn. South Carolina takes a timeout. It's 2nd. 10.5 to play. 1-point game on the Plain. Sunday Night Baseball. The hunt for October continues on ESPN tomorrow. The Red Sox in New York to take on the Yankees. They beat them today. I guess crazier things have happened, but we'll wait and see. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. What a huge penalty that 5 yards was. Changes the dynamics of what South Carolina wants to do. Now they're in the shotgun on 3rd and long. Garcia rolling to throw. May not get to. He won't. Ball is out. Fumble. Auburn might have it. Still no signal. Now we get one. 2nd fumble by Garcia in this quarter.
Both times he's trying to extend the play. 2nd effort, trying to make something happen. This time Josh Bynes is the guy that's going to rip the ball out. He just rips the football out, and underneath the pile, Mike Blanc is in there fighting for it, number 93. Bynes with the strip and Blanc with the recovery. But again, that penalty was huge. It took them out of a run situation at 3rd and 3, forced them into a definite pass. Auburn got pressure and ultimately got the turnover.
So what was a brilliant night for the South Carolina quarterback being scrutinized by the head coach, obviously, now after 2 fumbles. And sometimes when you say Stephen before you say Garcia, you say much maligned, because Steve Spurrier, as we know, is hard on quarterbacks. But he had an almost perfect night going for his quarterback until the last 5 minutes.
And I think he had a guy open for the 1st down. Watch as he rolls to the left. There's a guy breaking to the outside that is open, right? there. He's open if he throws the football, but he held on to it. He didn't like what he saw, and at the end of the play, he loses the football.
Meanwhile, Auburn's got it just shaded on their side of midfield with a 1-point lead, and we're under 10 minutes. Cam Newton gives it off to McCaleb. McCaleb got a block on the corner, and he got a first down. The only thing he'd like to do is not have run out of bounds, but he picked up 9, and he has got some speed on the outside. 8-yard average for Terry McCaleb. Worked like crazy all off-season trying to bulk up to get to about 175 pounds if he's lucky. This guy doesn't have a problem with size. He's just short. Michael Dyer, all 215 pounds of him straight ahead. And boy, has he had a nice second half in this football game.
Running with authority. You know, he's only 5'9", but he's 215 pounds. I mean, he is solid and hard to tackle because he's so low to the ground.
Travian Robertson is the guy down, defensive tackle for South Carolina. There you see that poured together body of Michael Dyer. So now we wait on Travian Robertson, the junior out of Laurinburg, North Carolina. Part of that head-on collision.
Well, we thought Michael Dyer would become more of a factor in the game tonight. He had 16 carries last week against Clemson. He's got 21 now so far in the ball game. He's becoming more and more their feature guy from the tailback position.
Second down and 4 at the South Carolina 35. You see the big difference in numbers in the second half for Michael Dyer. We're down to 9 minutes and running. Auburn, Gus Malzahn told us we need some of those 8, 9, 10 play drives. You'd like to have about a 10-play drive right here and put it in the end zone. Dyer follows his blockers, put his hand right on one of his blockers' rear ends and goes for a first down. I love those guys, the tailbacks, that give their offensive linemen a little push.
Well, Mike Berry, number 66, does a nice job of leading up inside. And you're exactly right. Dyer just gets right behind that big, wide guy and follows him in through the hole.
Now on first down, Dyer again to the outside. Stays in bounds. Gilmore brings him down, but wisely didn't head all the way over there to stop the clock. Well, maybe they did say he went out of bounds. I didn't think he did. No, they wind the clock now as they move inside the 25-yard line. And Auburn came in leading the conference in rushing, and they've done it again tonight with 316. This guy's done a lot of it. Cam Newton. Oh, what a stiff arm. Didn't get the first down, but Tony Strother got him some in the face. Much like Terrell Pryor, 6'6" and 245 pounds. Watch the stiff arm coming from the quarterback. So here, take some of that with you.
Well, this is a huge play right here for the South Carolina defense. 3rd and short. They've got to be clued in to Cam Newton as a runner, probably even more than a thrower on this play.
Here they come up with that short yardage group again under center, but it's a pitch to the outside. McCaleb looking for a Cody Burns block, and he got just another one to easily get the first down. That is 28 first downs for Auburn tonight. And that matches their score, and they lead by 1.
Well, they give a little bit of an inside fake and then pitch it outside quickly. And McCaleb, that's his bread and butter, man. Getting it to the perimeter and using his speed.
Mario Fanek comes in to the backfield along with Eric Smith. They flank Cam Newton, who's just going to keep the football, get what he can in the middle of the field for a couple. And this is where you would expect Auburn. They might want to show that hurry-up group and stand at the line, but they might want to take all the time they can, too, before they snap it.
Right. Yeah, this is where you don't necessarily want tempo. Or the tempo you want is to let the clock be your friend, and that's exactly what they're doing.
No passes, all runs on the drive. Doubt that you're going to see one here either. 2nd down and 7. Newton talking to Dyer in the backfield. Well, they are going to throw. Out to Blake. Sidesteps one. He's got it. All the way to the goal line.
That's a touchdown.
Touchdown. What a nice move at the 12 by Blake. And then he took another shot and then laid out to the end zone.
It's a sign of a fatigued defense. 2 missed tackles on that play by a couple good football players. And Auburn extends their lead.
Byram for the point after. That makes it an 8-point game. But that also means South Carolina's got a chance. They only have 1 timeout left, but they've got 6:23 to work with. They need a touchdown and a 2 to tie. But the second touchdown pass of the night now for Cam Newton at Auburn, farther in front.
After the game.
All right, Reese. Gus Malzahn talking to his quarterback, Cam Newton. 158 yards and 2 touchdowns in the air, 167 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Gee, I wonder who the SEC Offensive Player of the Week might be. Byram's kick. Culliver camps under at the 5. Chris Culliver would like a big return here, and he's not going to get it. Cut down by Demetrius McNeil, who's made, I think, 4 tackles on special teams on kickoffs tonight. And a new quarterback coming in. The freshman Connor Shaw will take over for Stephen Garcia.
I think all this is the fact that as well as Garcia played, Steve Spurrier a little frustrated with his lack of taking care of the football the last couple possessions, and the turnovers really hurt his team. It's a tough spot to put a freshman in, though, who hasn't been in the game yet, to come in and try to win it.
Shaw sidesteps the rush, throws on the run, and it's too far in front of Marcus Lattimore. We mentioned Connor Shaw, a freshman out of Flowery Branch, Georgia, played for his dad, Lee, in high school. Jabo, his older brother, went to Georgia Tech and didn't want to spend another year waiting behind Joshua Nesbitt, so he transferred to Georgia Southern. But very similar quarterback skills between the 2 brothers. But as Todd said, on the road at Auburn, at Jordan Hare with 88,000 in your ear, not the way you wanted to splash on the SEC scene. Here comes pressure. He got rid of it down the middle and got his man, Alshon Jeffrey. And it's a first down out at the 48-yard line. He took a shot, too, after he let go of it.
Yeah, he stayed right in there. I mean, he shows great composure in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield. It's a blitz, and that's the guy who hit Garcia and made him a little woozy. Darren Bates, number 25, with the hit.
A Connor Shaw sandwich by the Tiger defense, but he shakes it off and comes up for another play at the 47-yard line, first down. And need 8 points, that is. Gurley. And he's got another first down.
Now, Steve Spurrier told us very emphatically on the phone, I've got 2 quarterbacks ready to play. And Connor Shaw has played the last 2 weeks, and he's been 4 for 5 each time. But he was never in the game when the game was in the balance on the line late in the game like he is right now. This is a different scenario. Plus, as you mentioned, on the road for the first time.
Playing with a gloved passing hand. Connor Shaw trying to bring the Gamecocks back. Throws out. Gurley again. Got a block. 40. Puts his head down. Got to the flags down at the 35-yard line. It's a holding call on the offense. That's coming back.
I wonder who they called it on. I thought it was a great block by DeMarco. If that's who they call it on, I'm not sure this was a block in the back.
Illegal block in the back. Number 47 offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's the guy you're talking about.
I thought DeMarco was in perfect position. Watch number 47, and the guy turned on him. Well, I don't know.
pretty iffy. At any rate, the ball's all the way back in South Carolina's end of the field now. At the 48-yard line. 3 wideouts for Connor Shaw. In relief of Stephen Garcia. Under 5 minutes to play. Shaw scrambling, and he's going to keep this all the way. Oh, took another big shot. Damon Washington hit him low. Somebody else got a piece of him in midair. South Carolina quarterbacks have taken some shots tonight.
And the thing is, why you see quarterbacks fumble in the open field a lot when they get hit, because they don't get hit in practice at all.
2nd and 15. Might have been an offside on Auburn.
Free play if they want it.
No, they hit as he throws. Going to be intercepted, but it's not going to matter, I don't think. I think Antoine Carter was offside. And Antoine Carter's also the guy that made that football flutter. So celebrating, Auburn defensive players are still celebrating back at about the 35-yard line. They don't know about the flag. And this call from Tom Ritter.
Offside, number 45, defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, here's Antoine Carter right here. He's going to get off the ball too soon. And a big break for South Carolina and Connor Shaw.
They get another chance now. At the 38-yard line. 2nd down and 10. South Carolina needs 8 points to tie with less than 4 minutes to work and 1 timeout. Low snap. Shaw fires and got his man down to the 25. It's Alshon Jeffrey again. Well, did you Shaw threw a bullet right there?
He did, and did you see how Alshon Jeffrey protected the ball and himself? He knew he was going to get hit. Shaw fields the bad snap. Now watch Jeffrey use his body and just shield himself in the ball, knowing that there was going to be a major collision there. Great job by a receiver protecting the football.
18-yard pickup. Jeffrey trots back out to the near side. South Carolina at the Tiger 25. Shaw pump fakes one way down the middle, intercepted. Josh Bynes might have just ended any chance for the Gamecocks. The veteran quarterback looks on. The freshman quarterback makes a mistake.
Josh Bynes is a very aware player, number 17. He reads the quarterback's eyes and drops right underneath that throw to DeMarco.
The leader of the defense comes up with the biggest play of the night for the defense. College football primetime presented by Hampton Hotels. Josh Bynes has just picked off Connor Shaw.
Now here's Bynes right here. Watch him just read the young quarterback's eyes. Ted Ruth, the defensive coordinator, said that Bynes is the most aware player that he's ever coached. I mean, that is a great compliment for a defensive player. He knows where everybody's supposed to be, studies film, studies tendencies.
Josh serving his internship right now before graduating in child services, deals with a lot of underprivileged kids and kids that have other personal problems. I said, I would imagine they'd listen to you. Well, maybe after that play, a few more will take notice, huh? He is a very engaging young man to talk to and a great linebacker, and he just proved it on that last play. So, 2nd down and a long 5 coming up.
Look at this is unusual for Auburn to be milking the clock. I mean,
they're trying desperately to take their time.
It's a no-huddle, waste-time offense right now.
The waste-time offense. Cam Newton is trying to make sure he holds on to the football. Speaking of holding on to the football. Timeout taken here with 2:27.
South Carolina
used its last time stoppage. Time right now for tonight's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate. When all else fails, fake it to the inside and throw it to the guy that's got the longest name on the football team. Phil Lutzenkirchen, the pride of Marietta, Georgia. He was a star player there, came in as a freshman last year and said, I didn't even know what I didn't know. And now he's a 258-pound veteran. And his touchdown catch is what's given Auburn this 8-point lead that they are trying to milk desperately right now. Cam Newton breaking tackles, but he's short of the first down by about 1.5 yards.
And that was a big-time play by the South Carolina defense. They had to get a stop there to force a 4th down. They have no timeouts left, so they can't stop the clock. Auburn will probably let this go all the way down before bringing their punt team on. They might even take a 5-yard penalty here before they punt the football.
The last 3 possessions for South Carolina, if you're just joining us late in the game here. 2 fumbles by Stephen Garcia, and then Connor Shaw came in to take his spot and had the team on the move and threw one down the middle that he would like to have back, intercepted by Auburn. So fumble, and interception for Steve Spurrier's Gamecocks the last 3 times they've had it.
How important are turnovers? The first half, Clemson's 2 turnovers led to South Carolina taking control.
That is their second charge timeout. This is a 30-second
Those 2
timeout.
turnovers in the first half by Auburn cost them 13 points. Remember the missed extra point, or it would have been 14. But then in a crazy second half, Auburn comes flying back in. They had a short field goal that hit the upright. Then Garcia trying to run the ball actually got positive yardage, but he got blasted at the end of the play. That one recovered by Auburn, led to points. Cam Newton, a little flick to the corner that we just showed you is our Good Hands play. And then Garcia again trying to make a play, had a guy open, as Todd said, and lost the ball again to give it back to Auburn. And finally it was Blake doing his little dance on the second touchdown throw of the night for Cameron Newton.
It looked like Connor Shaw was going to come back in the game, but I think I'd go with Garcia in this situation to try to win the game.
Oh, they went after the punt, but they didn't get to it. Gilmore has to let it bounce. And it's going to be at about the 43 or 4 yard line. So 56 yards away from the end zone, roughly. And who is it going to be?
It's going to be Connor Shaw. I mean, he's strapped up his helmet. He put his throwing glove back on, and that's the way Steve Spurrier is going to go. I'm just thinking with Garcia, you've got more experience. You've got a little bit better passer. And a guy who's been in tighter situations maybe as a college player. But Steve is going with Connor Shaw to try to tie this football game up.
Second crazy Saturday night in a row on the plains of Auburn. Shaw, and again trying to do that little wheel route out of the backfield with Lattimore, and both times he's been too far in front of him.
Well, he took a shot from Nick Fairley, too. Auburn thinking pass all the way here. Nick Fairley, who's been pretty quiet since the early goings of this game, got in there quickly and put a nice hit on Connor Shaw.
Remember, South Carolina has no timeouts.
They lost one when they failed on a challenge and then had to use 2 other ones, one on offense and one on defense, to stop the clock.
First downs will temporarily stop the clock if they can get some. Shaw scans the field, lofts it, and got his man.
Wow,
and then a big hit. That's going to be 15 more. Jason Barnes. But there's a flag in the backfield as well.
There was a flag that was thrown right away at the snap. And then the last flag was definitely for a late hit out of bounds. The first penalty will be the one that's interesting here.
So we've got the entire committee around Tom Ritter. There's just a hush in the stadium right now that it's been rocking since about 6:30 local time. This one's taken a while.
Well, it should take a while. This is a huge call right here.
And here it comes.
There were 2 fouls on the play. We had illegal formation, offense, 5 players in the backfield, and we had a dead ball, personal foul, targeting above the shoulders, number 4 on the defense, That penalty will be enforced. 15 yards, first down.
So the one by Zach Etheridge takes precedence.
Just a different way of saying this year, 5 in the backfield means you don't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage.
Right.
So
And watch the hit at the end. The catch, and then number 4 goes to number 4's head.
Yeah.
And you know, Zach Etheridge, who suffered a neck injury last year, and he's lucky he's walking. You'd think he'd be the last guy that would go helmet to helmet on somebody else.
Anytime you target above the shoulders with an arm, shoulder, forearm, helmet, that's a new emphasis of the rule this year.
The drive is alive for the Gamecocks. 1:14 remaining. Shaw sidesteps the rush again. Throws on the run and got it to Jeffrey. And Alshon Jeffrey's got a first down at about the 26-yard line.
I thought he was about to throw another pick. He was throwing into traffic. He did a nice job of getting away from the initial pressure. Here comes Antoine Carter that forces him out of the pocket. And Jeffrey able to just go up and snatch it.
Todd, that's his 8th catch of the night. They are utilizing their all-conference wide receiver number 1, who's up to the top of your screen. 1st and 10 at the 26. Clock moving. South Carolina's got to hustle. Connor Shaw flushed again out of the pocket. Got a big block, and he got what he could and got out of bounds. Somebody got Josh Bynes on a block. I think it was Marcus Lattimore.
Well, that's a guy who does a little bit of everything. Josh Bynes in pursuit. Lattimore comes and gets a big-time block.
Wow.
To get his quarterback to the edge and out of bounds to stop the clock. Just as important.
39 seconds left. 2nd and short. That may not be as important as what's remaining, which is 18 yards to the end zone, and then a needed 2-point conversion.
The only reason the 2nd and short's important is because if they get the first down, the clock will stop until they reset the chains. Again, no timeouts.
Shaw gonna loft it to the corner to Jeffrey. Almost caught it, and it's intercepted by Damon Washington, and it's over. They did that in the first half with Steven Garcia on some single coverage on a freshman corner, but Ledge, there's about 3 guys out there at that time.
But Jeffrey had the football. He went up and got it, and I think Zach Etheridge with a hit right at the end knocked the ball loose, and Washington came up with it. Jeffrey had both hands on the football, but Etheridge was there to make contact and take away his concentration.
And for Gene Chizik, in just his 2nd year as head coach at Auburn, back-to-back thrillers on their home field. Last week, overtime, there's Ted Roof embracing the guy that just ended it, Damon Washington, and now Cam Newton can take a knee. Auburn will take a big home win. Cam Newton even hugged the referee. He's a happy guy. Well, that one, not so happy. Heck of a ball game, though. Auburn with a big 2nd half, much like a week ago against Clemson. And they're going to win it 35-27. So Steve Spurrier's Gamecocks will fall to 3-1 overall, 1-1 in conference play. Steven Garcia was brilliant through about 3 quarters, had a couple of mistakes that got him pulled out of the ball game, and his replacement, the freshman quarterback, threw back-to-back interceptions on consecutive drives. The last one finishes it off and puts Auburn in there with Alabama and LSU undefeated. Let's go down to Holly.
Well, Cam, in the first half, you guys are down 20-7. Again, what was going through your mind?
We just got to keep fighting. You know, I thank God for putting us in this situation. You know, I'm blessed to be with a bunch of great individuals on this team that will not give up for anything. And you've seen time after time from this game and the past game that we won't give up, and we're going to consistently keep fighting.
How were you able to be so effective running the football?
I'm just following behind those big nasties. I mean, they expected me to do their job, do my job, and I'm expecting them to do theirs. And everybody has a responsibility. and I have to live up to my responsibility.
After your own first half turnovers, your defense came through and created some in the second half. How did that turn the game?
Everybody's sticking together. You know, Coach Chiswick said it was going to be a fight and a battle, but you know, we're going to face adversity, but we can't give up, and we got to stick together no matter what.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Todd, he followed those big nasties for 176 yards and 3 more touchdowns.
Yeah, all told, this was Cam Newton's best game by far. 334 yards of total offense, 5 touchdowns, the best player on the field tonight.
Final score, Auburn 35, South Carolina 27. Don't forget, stay tuned. Coming up next on ESPN and Sports Center. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Todd and Holly, our entire crew. I guess they're yelling War Eagle here at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Center Tele.